On behalf of Monsignor Holmes, the parish household, Father Greg, who always assists me so wonderfully at the liturgy, on behalf of all of us, we promise you our prayers and our greetings for Easter Day and throughout the Easter season. And we promise to pray that that beautiful summary of Easter, which is the word of praise, Alleluia, will be alive in your hearts every day, whether it's a good day, whether it's a tough day. Jesus Christ is still risen. Now, we just heard in the beautiful hymn before the gospel, called in Latin Victimae Paschali Laudes, the beautiful description of Easter unique to this hymn. Death and life have contended in that combat stupendous. The Prince of Life who died reigns immortal. Death and life have contended in that combat stupendous, major, like Armageddon, worse than Snowmageddon. The Prince of Life who died reigns immortal. What is that all about? It's all about today. Today, Easter 2015. 150 Christians were just massacred in Kenya for no other reason than that they are Christians. 150. Are you a Christian? Off with your head. Are you a Christian? No. Run away. 150 martyrs. Today, in 2015, a combat stupendous. Friday night, Good Friday, in a casino in upstate New York, on Good Friday of all days, they opened a new cocktail bar for frozen cocktails. Some people's definition of heaven, a frozen cocktail. After the winter we've had, I don't want a frozen anything. Neither does he or she. Everybody and their brother wanted a frozen cocktail. So the lines were so long that most people didn't get them. So what did they do on Good Friday in the evening? They started throwing the chairs around in rage and ransacked the place. Little babies are allowed to have tantrums. And so they showed themselves to be little babies. The majority of the American population today in 2015 is a group of adolescents. And dealing with that is a combat stupendous. And then we have the judge indicating that the prisoner, the inmate, has a right to a transgender surgery. And since the inmate has a right to that, the taxpayer has to pay for it. You and I have to pay for violations of the natural law. That's a combat stupendous. A combat stupendous. And then there's that group who is now lobbying so that all Christian churches in the United States be shut down because we cannot and we will not support violations of the natural law. We live in a country where violating the natural law is a right higher than your freedom of religion and mine. And our country was founded on freedom of religion. But now the right of someone else to violate the natural law trumps your freedom of religion and mine. That's a combat stupendous. But the Prince of Life who died reigns immortal. Last evening, after a beautiful vigil service here, the seminarians and a few others came up to my apartment because I care for my seminarians in every way, and I care for their deepest needs. So what did I do? I TiVo'd the Badger game. Never did they feel such fatherly care. So, we all knew that the Badgers had won. We all knew that the score was 71-64. We knew that. As soon as we came out of church, it was announced to us by a group of revelers headed for State Street. Their enthusiasm, no doubt, fueled by alcohol. So there we are, watching what was a very tight and close game up to the very end with total serenity. Total serenity, because we knew how it ended. That experience is all about the resurrection. Death and life have contended in a combat stupendous. There was a stupendous combat, but we know how it ended. The Prince of Life who died reigns immortal. That's how it ended. Jesus Christ is risen from the dead. That's how it ends. The resurrection means that when you and I have tough days, when you and I have good days, at times when everything seems to be going wrong, in the family, at work, we sit back with serenity, knowing that this battle, this stupendous battle maybe, has already been won by Jesus Christ risen from the dead. If we were able to watch that nail-biter game without a single nail being bitten, because we knew how it would end, how do we live through the real tough times in our life? Why did this happen to me? That's not the question. Because the answer to that question is, that's not a good question, worse happened to Christ than is happening to you right now. But he's still risen from the dead. That's the end of the game. Nothing that happens to me in this life can be the end of me. Nothing. Unemployment, financial disasters, nothing can be the end of me. Because there's only one end to the combat stupendous that is your life and mine at times. There's only one ending. Jesus Christ is risen. And that's why when he first appeared to the apostles after the resurrection, he simply said to them, "Peace be with you." Peace be with you. Every day, in every circumstance, peace be with you. Christ is risen. Indeed, he is risen. Hallelujah. Praise be Jesus Christ.